What's going on, everybody? I'm Scott Oots, and I am here today with my COO, Mike Yanker.
Hello.
What's going on, man?
What's happening?
You know, thanks for making the long trek from out there to in here.
Hey, no problem, man. Anytime.
So, Mike is a huge part of my business. You guys have probably seen him on some of my YouTube videos in the past. You've seen him on our bell ringing videos. But behind the scenes, Mike does a lot. He does a lot for the business. He helps us train people within the office. Really helps me keep organized chaos, maybe is a good way to put it.
Sometimes.
We have a very unique office environment here, and we have a lot of fun, but we also know when it's time to put our heads down and get to work. And one thing that we did last year is we decided to expand out of our California market, and we went over to Dallas, Texas. So we just flew out there actually last week. So Thursday, Friday, we were in Dallas. We surprised our rep out there, Ryan. He's our boots on the ground there. And went out, surprised him, and kind of took a look for the first time at what the Texas market's all about. So while we were there, we spent a lot of time talking to Ryan. But we also did something where we got our feet wet. We got out there, we got in the car, we drove for dollars using our deal machine app. All of us were deal machining every house as we were going through, and I think we added 80-some properties in less than 2 hours. But it was pretty cool because we were able to get out there and see what the Texas market's all about. Were you eye-opening? You see some like eye-opening things while we were out there going through the market, something completely different than California?
Oh, exciting stuff. I think every third house in Texas is a potential house that we could buy. Mm-hmm. And driving around in California, sure, you still have that, but it's not 1 in 3. We're probably 1 in 30 in most parts of California. And in Texas, you just drive down the street and you could deal machine 10 houses. It's great. Mm-hmm. I mean, just within the 2 hours, we made 2 offers over the phone by skip tracing people that we literally just went to their house.
Let's talk about that. What Mike just said, he just hit it. So we took it a step further. So as we took a picture of a few houses that these houses definitely look like they could use some work. So we went ahead and skip traced those right there. We got the info for the owner, and I'm sitting there. I was in the front seat. Mike was in the back, and Ryan was driving. Ryan's driving. I'm deal machining while I'm getting the skip trace info, calling it out to Mike in the back seat. He goes ahead and he calls these sellers. Now, you called, what, 2 or 3 different houses? Mm-hmm. And how many prospective deals do we have out of that?
Oh, it was... I mean, it was, first of all, you're being nice when you say the house needs some work. It needs a lot of work, right?
Okay.
So we spent our time pretty wisely. So we deal machined all the average houses that need work that can be wholesaled or flipped or rehabbed. But the ones that really needed some work, that's when we said, okay, we're right in front of the house. We're going to call. Let's call right here. And out of the 3 people that I got on the phone, 2 of them want to sell, and 2 of them gave me their price. And now we're in negotiations. Yep. It's instant.
Yeah.
We went on the road, and then we're talking 2 sellers who actually want to sell.
So you went the extra mile. Oh, we went the extra mile.
We did, yeah.
We decided, instead of just taking a picture of it and putting it through deal machines, starting mailers, that we were actually going to try to reach out to these people. And I wish we would have done it sooner. I mean, we were like, oh, we need to call these people. We were like already an hour into driving, and I wish we would have done that sooner because I would have spent the entire day. Let me tell you, man, I haven't been in the field in a while. I'm always in the office now, running the business, planning our growth. But damn, it felt good to be out there in the field. And I haven't done that because I hated the traffic in California doing it. But you know what was great about Texas? Number 1, we had a driver. Yeah. But number 2, there was no traffic. So it felt good to get out there and talk to some of these sellers face to face. It was actually a lot of fun. I really had a good time. And would you say that driving for dollars is a good revenue source?
I think we actually forgot to mention that we spent 2 hours with the seller in his house by talking to him while he was on his porch. We drove by. There he is. Let's talk to him. We spent 2 hours, and we have another appointment booked for this Thursday.
Yeah.
So would I say that there's benefit for driving for dollars? Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%.
So the reason I bring that up, there was actually someone that commented on my Instagram over the weekend, and we posted a Drive for Dollars video out there, and his comment to me was I shouldn't be teaching or recommending Drive for Dollars because it's a horrible marketing source. So I saw that comment and I definitely laughed a little bit. I mean, everyone's entitled to their opinion, and obviously he's got a pretty strong one about it. But my comment back to him was, hey, maybe you haven't gotten it to work yet. And we have. Now, you don't have to take everything I say. Sure. You can take, if I tell someone 10 things that I do, it doesn't mean those 10 things are going to work for their business. So what would be your comment to someone like that says, hey, man, Scott, you're an idiot. Don't teach that marketing source. It doesn't work. Doesn't work. Not at all. What would be your response?
Well, the first thing is mindset, right? Mm-hmm. It's easy to say, oh, that's never going to work. Mm-hmm. Well, if that's your mindset, guess what? It's never going to work for you. So that's great. You give us more houses to go by, right? So it all comes down to the mindset, in my opinion. When we were doing this, by the way, I was very happy. I think we had 3 Red Bulls in the back seat for me, so that was good. But I was very, very happy because, one, you were in the field, I was in the field. But we still made time to do this type of activity. And what does that show you, right? We're getting to our grassroots to where we could go out there. We want to get in front of sellers. We want to put in the dirty work because it does pay off. But here's the big difference. So like you just said, that we took it a step further. We didn't just write it down on a piece of paper or deal machine it. We were calling them right in front of the house. And as I'm coming to find out when I talk to more people in the industry, especially newbies, which is fine because it's very scary to talk to sellers, especially if you haven't done it before. Driving for dollars alone is not enough. You can't just hop in the car and write down 100 addresses and expect to make money. You have to pick up the phone and you have to be willing to call people.
Because the normal process for that, those people that are doing that, they're going through, writing the addresses down, they're starting mail or RVM, but they're not actually making a call. So they almost depend on a marketing source to make the seller call them. But they're not picking up the phone and calling the seller. So let me be clear that how important it is that everyone listening picks up the phone and get rejected over and over and over again, because you won't know what you need to learn until you encountered that. So you probably heard of what you don't know, you don't know. So some of these things that are going to be obstacles for you while you talk to sellers, until you encounter that, you won't know what that is. So by getting out there and talking to a seller, and when that seller stumps you, how do you get around that objection? Then you go back and you start learning how to do that. So you've heard of analysis paralysis. I've talked about it so many times. So people get on YouTube, they start just watching videos, right? Oh, I've watched all this person's videos. I watched all Max Maxwell's videos today. Tomorrow I'm going to go watch all Sean Terry's videos. Then I'm going to go watch all these and these. And they've watched 1,000 videos, but they haven't done anything. Now, the problem is because they haven't done anything, they haven't truly determined where they're stuck and where they need help. So by going out and doing, you're finding where you need the help, and then you watch a video to help improve that. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, you have to take action on it. And if you're sitting back and you're expecting somebody to call you and say, hey, I got your letter, I want to sell you my house right now for $5, it's not going to happen. So you have to take action. You got to get out of your comfort zone. And you can't just say that, hey, I made a list and I sent it off and now I sent mailers and I'm just waiting for somebody to call me. Take action. Call everybody, right? You already went to the house. You did the time-consuming part. Now just pick up the phone and talk to everybody. So what we failed to mention was, earlier we said I talked to 2 out of 3 people and they're already in the process of negotiations, right? The third person, in which we didn't mention, was somebody that said, hey, take me off your damn list right now. And guess what? When the phone was hung up, we started laughing about it because it said, list? What list? We just drove by your house, right? You're not even on a list.
So he's obviously getting a lot of calls.
Exactly. So, but that's have fun with it. How much fun would you say that we had when we were out on the road?
I would say we had a lot of fun, and part of it was because I don't think you and I have actually ever been out on the road together. All the time that you've worked with me.
Fun fact. Fun fact of the day.
Right. Fun fact 101. I don't think we've ever been out there together. And as much as you've gone out with everybody else, I've always stayed back in the office, focused on everything I need to do to grow the business forward. But I have not done that. And the fact that we were also out there with Ryan as well, we had 3 of us out there in that car. Yeah. And, Ryan was driving, I was hitting that with Deal Machine, you were making these phone calls, but we started finding so many houses, I couldn't even hit them all with Deal Machine fast enough. Yeah. And So he was hitting it as well. You were learning deal machine while you were in the back seat. But it was a great time. And I actually would like to do that more. I'd love to get out there and fly back out to Texas, but not spend 2 to 3 hours. I'd love to spend an entire day out there doing that and just spend time just knocking on these doors. And there was one house we saw that it looked vacant. It may very well have been. But Ryan hopped out of the car, went up and knocked on the door. They weren't home, but don't be afraid to try it. Worst case scenario, someone opens the door and you freeze. Who cares? At least you're learning what it is that you need to practice. And Ryan went out there, knocked on that door, they weren't home. But we were able to leave a card there for those people. Just one of our business cards said, hey, I want to buy this place. Give me a call. They may or may not call, but now they are going to start getting marketing from us on a regular basis. So overall, I would say Texas was a success.
Massive success, and it was very eye-opening for us. And the other part of this, which you always have the mindset of, well, Scott, that's never going to work, right? And that's kind of what led into this part here is that mindset. Get rid of that mindset. So we're talking about how excited we were to be on the road. We made $0 that day. That day, from that effort, we made $0.
Technically lost money because we paid for flights out there,
Red
hotels, Red Bulls and coffee the whole time.
So we actually took a loss for that time spent in the field.
Yeah.
And why are we willing to do it again? Because if we find that one house that nobody else has found, we're making money. But we're making tons of money. And also in the process, we're getting boots on the ground in states that we've never even been on. And now we're marketing direct zip codes based off what we're seeing. Wow, this is a gold mine. So get out there, do it, put in the work. Don't give up after 4 houses and getting 3 doors shut on you and the 4th one nobody picks up. And then you go home and say that's never going to work. That doesn't make any sense. You got to keep doing it and then do it more and then keep doing it more and more and more and more and more until you get your first payment. When you get your first payment, then you're going to want to get your second, your third, your fourth, your 10th, and then now what are we going to? Yeah, exactly. Right.
You pretty much just described how business works, right? So we put money out to go out there and develop some leads, and we will close some deals from it. I'm confident. So we will close deals from it, and we're going to get a return on that investment. So it's the same whether you're doing RVM, whether you're doing direct mail. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You're putting out an investment to get a return on that investment. And we have more than just that return on the investment. I mean, so while we were out there, we didn't just drive for dollars. We spent almost 6-7 hours going all Albert Einstein on a calculator because we had just the right opportunity to do it, and we made a killer calculator for offers. Then we spent a lot of time talking to Ryan out there and made sure we were on the same page on what we're doing. But one of the cool things that we did out there, we went and walked a house. Now, this house we are buying for $12,500 down. Is that it? Mm-hmm. So $12,500 down. The payment on this house is $579. Roughly. I don't know how I remember these numbers. Roughly $579, and this thing would rent median for $1,300. High end, high $1,500.
Yep.
So high $1,500, almost $1,600. So we're picking up this deal, seller financing, and this guy's going to carry the loan for 5 years for us. We're going to pay him that $579 a month. Rents between $1,300 and $1,500, and we're going to put probably about $4, maybe $5,000 into the house, just some general touch-ups to make it rent ready and help it get to that high end of the market. But we also did a walkthrough of that house as well, so you guys can see that on my my YouTube and Instagram as well. But this is a cool house, and this is going to bring in income for the next 5 years for us. Mm-hmm. And even beyond after that, if the seller decides, I mean, look at the stock market today, right? So we're shooting this video on March 9th, and our stock market today is tanking. Mm-hmm. So many people are losing money today. They even halted trading today. So having that property, we would still be getting our rental income every single day. And that seller giving us that carry on that property, he still is at 4%. Mm-hmm. That seller's going to make 4% on his money versus putting it on the stock market and losing what, it go down 20-30% today. I don't even know.
I don't even want to know.
Yeah, right. So, but that's the thing, is that seller's still going to make that money. So using these creative financing techniques, it's good to be able to get that residual income coming in, because after we pay the taxes on it, after we pay property management and things like that, set aside some money, we're going to clear good money on that house every month. So our Texas trip, to me, was a huge success. The thing is, Mike and I, we get along very well. We're on the same page with each other, but man, there are times where we just battle it out. I would say Texas was one of those times. We're sitting there at the hotel bar and we had a disagreement over something, and sitting and having a little drink at the end of the night. Woo, man, I won, but
Scott knows how to really piss me off.
but it blew up. But it's good for people that are in business together to sit and have those conversations.
Yeah.
And
hard conversations, but you got to have them.
Mm-hmm. I think that's one thing, as everyone has business partners or people in their business, I've heard so many bosses I've worked for in the past that have such a problem with people disagreeing with them and people pushing back, and they pull the whole, I'm the boss, you can't do that. Did I do that to you even one time?
Nope.
No, because everybody in this office, it's so important to be able to hear them out, and you've got to be able to understand what it is your team wants. It's been 3 years since someone's left this business, because we spend the time on our employees and flying to Texas. Ryan did not know we were coming. We have been we've been bad at going to Texas. We should have been there sooner, but we decided we would surprise him. So we booked plane tickets last minute. I'm not even going to tell you how much those cost. And we got out there and spent some time. And to Ryan, that meant everything. The smile on his face when we told him we were there, that guy was literally all for that. Mm-hmm. And it was good because you got to get the company on the same page. But overall, great trip. And that trip is going to help us make a ton of money. As we're back, we're starting to increase our marketing for the Texas area, and we're going to start just killing deals there. So if you guys are there and you guys want to be part of our enterprise deal machine, you guys can get the login for it. It's free to you. And basically at that point, you guys can go around, drive for dollars, take pictures of these houses, and then at that point, we'll go ahead and market to them. And if we close them, you guys are going to get paid from that. So we always want to try to help people out. So if it at least helps you get started, if you get $500 or $1,000 for these houses, just driving around, then that can help you get started on your own marketing and hopefully get you guys going. So, but this business is one of those that you have to keep at it. And even we're going to get in a car and go drive for dollars and do things. So make sure you guys get out there, get going. This is kind of a quick little company update for where we're at right now. But this year has been literally on fire. We have 3.5 times the income in our first 2 months of this year than any previous period. And I am so excited about that. What did I just do to our team this week? What did I just do to make them even more overwhelmed because they did so well?
Wow. See, so before I answer that, you brought up so many subjects that I think that we should actually sit down and spend some time on the individual subject.
Sure.
You brought up company issues and hard conversations amongst ownership and management, which I think that in itself is its own subject, because if we don't talk about things, then we're just going to be more and more and more on the wrong page. I think when we were, duking it out a little bit, I said, hey, yeah, it's great that we're sitting here, we're arguing, but guess what? Choose sides. If you argue for the greater good, then you're going to come out with some good content. And I'll tell you right now, because we did that from the plane until our first night's rest, I think that set the tone for the entire trip to go well, because we said we're not coming here just to come here and put a smile on somebody's face. We are coming here to push boundaries, and we are coming here to break records in another state as well.
Well, I wouldn't mind if you didn't argue with me and you just listened to me with what I said, but
well,
we know that's not going to happen.
Unfortunately, you have all the best ideas, and some of them I don't agree with.
Well, I have all the best ideas? Wow. Okay, we're going to need to capture that part and make sure that we save that clip of the video. So
disagreements, which is great. Pushing boundaries, you may not always agree on it, but that's fine. And then something else that you keep mentioning is, driving for dollars and not getting something out of it right away, or everybody mentioning or hitting you up on Instagram or social media and saying, hey, Scott, I'm putting in all this work, but nothing pays off. Or how many people have you talked to when it comes to the REI Masters? And they're like, well, it's not my problem talking to seller. It's just I need more people that want to sell. You're throwing away all the people that want to sell. You're throwing them all away.
Can you repeat that just real quick? It's not the problem talking to sellers. It's what?
Right. It's throwing away your leads. You're already throwing. You have the leads coming in. If you drove around and you saw the house that nobody's living in and nobody lived in it for 20 years and they can't afford to pay the taxes, they need to sell it. They probably want to sell it, but they're going to tell you no because you're not confident enough, or you've already talked to 100 people that said no, and the next person is already in your mind saying no to you. So they're just going to say no right off the bat, and you're not going to push back. So that I think needs an abundance amount of attention for us to talk about converting your leads. You're spending the money, you're spending the time. A lot of you guys out there are spending more time than you are money, right?
Yeah.
But how do you make up for that time? Time is more valuable than money. So if you can convert one deal that's in your system already, you're paying yourself back 10 times, because now not only are you putting money into your business, but you're putting into your mindset something that is invaluable, and that is confidence. That is the fire to keep going. That is the belief in yourself. And now you're going to separate yourself from the people that are saying, hey, Scott, this isn't working, to, hey, Scott, how the hell do I do this even better? That's what we need to talk about. I feel like that's missing a lot in this industry. You have the people going to these events and watching the videos like you're talking about, but they're not taking action. And then
let's hit on that real quick. Sure. So that is so true what he's saying, and it kind of leads to a plug here, right? I'm gonna plug you guys for a sec, because together Mike and I have created something a little bit different than what's out, a lot different than what's out there in the industry right now. There's a lot of great sales trainings out there. One of the guys that I originally listened to is John Martinez. You've seen some of his stuff as well. He has some killer content out there. He's got, a lot of people, when they start talking about sales training, he's a name they bring up, right? Oh, I learned from John Martinez. Yeah, that's fantastic. John, honestly, is one of the, I would almost say, the best out there with sales training and teaching people how to overcome objections and going negative on the seller. It's fantastic. So hats off to him for being able to do that. And what we have created is something that almost goes along with that. It's something that takes you to that next level. So it's more of an interactive experience. So people are going to come in to this room, and it's going to be 30 to 40 people, and we're going to sit down for 2 days, and we are going to call your leads. We are going to role play. We are going to teach you how to get through an uncomfortable situation with a seller. When the seller kicks you out of the house, how do you spin around and try to save that deal one last time? So the REI Masters is what we created to do this. And our first event's going to be April 6th and 7th in Dallas, Texas. And that event right there is going to be on fire. So we are, I think as of today, like almost 85% sold out on that. And so they're going pretty quick. We'll drop a little coupon code in the video here to give you guys a bit of a discount. So if you're watching this and you can get to Dallas, Texas, both of us are going to be in that room as long as our voices hold out, and we are going to literally bring lunch in the room, because pretty much lock the door from the outside with chains, right? I mean, we are going to be in there tackling things, having those tough conversations, and hoping that maybe you close a deal in that room. What if you paid to come to this thing? You go in there and you close a $1,000 deal, or a $10,000 deal, or a $20,000 deal sitting in the room. That's amazing, right? But this is also going to help you guys focus on increasing your spreads. So instead of a $20,000 wholesale deal, maybe you can get to 25. Some of these deals that you're not getting because you think the seller's not motivated. What if we were able to help you really dig into that more? Usually there's a reason, and it's not usually price. So when you start looking at a seller saying no to you, it might be they just don't like you. So we're going to help teach you guys how to build rapport with these people, and we're going to spend 2 days just shoving this into your brain and making it so when you walk out of that room, you're exhausted. You want to go take a nap for a week, but you're too excited to do it, and you can't get on that plane and get home quick enough to start calling leads. That's what we want to see happen from this. So check it out. You can go to therimasters.com, and you can see what we have on there. Cody will get a coupon code on here for you guys as well. Get in there before it fills up. I promise you, we're not going to find an additional 5 seats. We're not going to find an additional 20 seats like a lot of these big events. This is it. We're capping it at this. This is our first event, and we are out to prove something. So this is the room you guys want to be in. So make sure you guys check that out.
So to get back to, and you're absolutely right. I mean, we got to push boundaries, and I hope that everybody that is coming has their mindset of anything that I ever knew before coming into this room, I'm going to leave behind, because we're going to start from scratch, and we're going to turn in a group of individuals that are already hungry, or we're going to turn them into lions when they leave there. So getting back to what we're doing for our team right now, and not just for our team, but our company and us and everywhere where our vision is and where we want this thing to go, we decided to double our marketing. And here's why, right? Is for a long time, and marketing between you and I has been a battle, right? It's always been a tug of war. Hey, if we do this on marketing, this is how it's going to affect our team, whether that's up or down or whatever it is, right? So it's been a big tug of war. And here's why we decided to double the marketing, right? Not because we doubled our staff, but we've hit every single goal that we have put in place, and the team is so hungry and ready for more that not only do we want to give them more, but we know that they can handle it. So this is Q1 2020. So officially on February 28th, we surpassed our income goal by, I think it was $40,000. And then
quarterly income goal,
yes,
by $40,000
by February 28th.
So halfway through the quarter. Well,
yep,
a little over halfway.
A little over halfway. And then in addition to that, our signed contract goal for Q1, we also broke that on March 3rd, which leaves us a full entire month of icing on the cake. So yes, we are ready to put more money into marketing. But let me answer the questions of, well, why are they going to put more marketing if they just said that you need to get better at sales? Do we need to talk about what our average spread is right now, or when we're breaking all of our goals? We're doing that from top to bottom because of the sales training that we have here weekly for our sales staff. Yeah. So if we could give that out there to others, they could break their goals as well.
I would say it goes on two words: training and efficiency. So because we become very efficient at our back-end operations, we've been able to help be more efficient on the front-end operations. So by training our sales team over and over and over again, to the point it just becomes natural to them to go out and talk to a seller. I mean, if we open the door right now and listen to what's going on out there, these guys are probably sitting here just talking to sellers, and we are getting ready to receive a ton of calls in. We have 3 VAs going. We got Cassie in the office here, 4 people ready to answer phones. If we keep this marketing increase, we're going to send over 400,000 pieces in the next 4 weeks. And that's not including text messaging and all the other marketing channels that we're doing as well. This is just direct mail. So when we say double our marketing, we doubled our mail. We have doubled our text messaging over the last 8 weeks or so. But we have our team that's capable of handling this because we made sure, stress test the team. We pushed them to the limit, and then we got better and pushed them to the limit again. And that's exactly what we're doing. But our team, by me going to them and saying, hey, if you guys hit this goal, I will double our marketing. These guys went out and did it. They're like, game on.
Right.
And they went out and did it. So I just told them that if they keep this consistently going for 4 weeks, they don't miss calls, they don't mess up follow-up, I'll double it again.
That's going to be big.
Yeah, and also individual spread size per sales rep is larger than we've ever averaged before. Individually, everybody's averaging higher than we've ever averaged before. Yeah. But let me ask you this. Do you have some kind of secret list or something that you're just mailing to the people that want to sell at the cheapest price in the entire world? I mean, come on, Scott. Tell me all of your secrets because I need to know what list you're mailing.
I wish that was the case. I mean, we do have some good lists that we mailed, but on the volume that we're mailing, we're getting past being able to use those individual lists. Everyone out there is mailing a pre-foreclosure list. I mean, that's like the newbie thing to do.
Why are you giving away all the secrets?
But for that list, we stopped that a long time ago. And so we started hitting more blanket lists on things because the amount that we're trying to mail, we need to be able to hit as many people as we can. Now, a lot of those people may not want to sell. I mean, the response rate on direct mail, well, it's not good. The response rate definitely could be better, but we're getting a ton of deals off of it. So make sure that you continue to go ahead and and push what your sales team is doing so we can go ahead and pull more lists and drop that. So I hope that we can double, triple our marketing again and get past that point. But if we can get to 400,000 pieces of mail a month and we're getting a return and your team's still calling them all in time, then let's do it. So I definitely see us being able to go far with this. But so everyone getting started, I mean, keep in mind, you can't just come out and jump and start sending all this mail and handle this lead flow. We've taken a long time to build and change our systems and build and change our systems. How many times do you think we've changed our contract? I mean, maybe 30.
We may have changed it today.
Yeah, right. Our contract changes every time we find an issue with it, or a seller tries to back out and they have a loophole. We want to make sure that we have a solid contract. So we change that all the time too. So we built the system as a company to make things work. And, as we talked about the REM Masters before, get in that room. I mean, ultimately, you got to be there because this is going to help you guys close more deals so you can grow a company like we are. Now, one thing we didn't touch on, we are not going to be teaching the business at this event. We are going to be teaching acquisitions. So you can feel safe taking your acquisitions team, sending them to this event, and we're not going to help them. We're not going to help breed competitors. We're going to teach them how to do acquisitions for you. And if they start asking us questions about how do you get leads, how do you do this, that's not for that time. We're going to tell them to go talk to their boss when they get back. So we have a lot of people sending their teams to this. And our goal is to, and they're not even coming, right? They're just sending their teams with us. And our goal is to get those people trained up, send them back. So when they get back there, the owner of the company goes, wow, what the heck happened in Dallas? You are on fire. And that's what I want to see happen with everybody in that room. So, all right, we're kind of running out of time here, but some of the things you touched on here, we're going to go ahead and we'll get some other videos going on it. I think it'd be good for people to see a little bit more of our team atmosphere too. I always say we need to put cameras throughout the office and have them just recording all the time, because when some of this stuff happens that's in here, sometimes we happen to catch it if Cody's fast enough with a camera, but some stuff just happens naturally. And I want people to kind of see what it's like to be in here. So maybe that's something we'll consider, getting some cameras. What do you guys think? Should we get some cameras in our office and start just shooting this stuff all the time? And the other thing I said to you earlier is doing drinks with Scott and Mike. And I love that idea, that we do like a podcast towards the evening, do like a 6:30 podcast, maybe once a month, where we just go ahead and sit here with a drink, not water, and we go ahead and sit and have some drinks and just answer questions and bring people on live. I think that would be a lot of fun. So
yeah, let's do it.
Maybe we should give it a shot.
And that's the thing. I like to be directly to the point on a lot of issues and a lot of subjects, and I like to call it cut the shit. Right? There's a lot of great people in this industry. Let's not lie about that. There's a lot of great people in this industry. We can't even try to water that down at all. However, there's also a lot of fluff. I want to make money. And I want to teach people how to make money. It's as simple as that, because I don't know why I have some weird passion for that, and I just love to do it. And if I could turn somebody into a person who's never picked up the phone to talk to anybody in their entire life, let alone try to cut a deal with anybody, I want to try to... Actually, I was at a furniture store last night with my 9-year-old son trying to teach him how to negotiate. And we walked out on a $5,000 furniture deal because they wouldn't throw in a free pillow for him. We walked out on the entire deal. And I explained to him afterwards why we were walking out. And the reason why is because you can never be afraid to walk away from a deal. If you're stuck into that deal, you do not have the upper hand on negotiations. So I love to just teach this stuff in my daily life. How do you negotiate? How do you always get a better deal? You know this. How many of your and you have a lot of friends with a hell of a lot of money. I don't know how you did that, but great job on your behalf. How many of your friends, especially the ones with a shit ton of money, negotiate a $100 bill?
100%. And sometimes the people with the money are the cheapest ones out there. That's why they have money. That's why I like to say that. Now, I probably just lost 10 friends saying that, but it's true, because you look at people and you start saying, oh, that's the reason they have money. But I've seen both sides of it. I've seen people with a lot of money that go out to a restaurant and they tip 10%, and they have a ton of money, right? They literally leave nothing for somebody. Right. And I'm the opposite, man. If I go and someone offers me good service, I'm going to take care of that person. Right. So there's two types of people. And maybe I have less money because I do that. Maybe they have more money because they just don't care. But I think, furniture and stuff, like that's a great lesson for your son. And going out and trying to get a better deal on something, that's fantastic. And not being afraid to walk away. And let me tell you guys, his son, I've already hired him. How old is he now?
9.
He's 9. So basically, I've got him on a contract, and he was sitting and negotiating a retainer with me to get him locked up until he's 18, so he can start working for us. Because let me just tell you, this guy, you guys have seen like mini me, right? This is literally, well, Mike's pretty short, so I can't really say mini me, but
Tell him about the tooth.
Yeah, there's no
yeah. So get this. So we're sitting at dinner one night, and it was his son was sitting right across from me. There was probably 6 or 8 of us at the table and having a bit of a sales meeting, and he had a loose tooth, and he kept playing with it with his tongue. And I literally pulled $20 out of my wallet and said, if you pull that tooth out, I'll give you $20. And he's just like, no, I'm not doing it for $20. And literally people at the table started opening their wallets. So we get like 80 or $90 on that. As soon as the money stopped piling, he just reached into his mouth, pulled the thing out, and just blood starts coming down. And we're just like, all of us were just like, what did you just do? But that kid is a born negotiator.
Instead of $20, he made 90 for the same tooth.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And I was like, okay. But, I mean, you start looking at this and saying, teach him young. Because that kid will work for us one day. He will be on the staff, and he will be making over $100,000 a year. At 18 years old, if he keeps up what he's doing now. Of course, I don't know how you feel about the college thing, if you got to make him go to that. Because of his mom, we don't have to say it. Yeah.
And back to the friends of yours and mine that have a lot of money, and especially the ones that love to negotiate. Whether it be a $100 bill or a $5,000 bill, but those are also the same ones that are going to donate and give to people in need at a moment's notice, and we all know that they do. So. Phenomenal job on them, always trying to get a better deal on everything, and teaching me that, hey, even if you have a shit ton of money, it's always worth trying to get a deal, but also then share the wealth. And I think that you do that a lot, especially, and a lot of people that we both know does that. So always work a better deal, never be afraid of it, never be attached to the deal, always be able to walk away and then help others in need. And this is what it's all about. So I have a lot of passion for it, and I know you do as well, and hopefully we can continue down this path.
Yeah, I love it. All right, guys, that's enough for today. We will go ahead and see you guys in the next video. Again, I'm Scott Oots. This is Mike Yanker. See you guys later.